Obviously, a well-played game. I thought it was thorough. Offense, defense, and special teams performed. These guys individually and collectively played extremely well. So it was a big win for us. Now we move on.
Isaiah, we're going to start with the big one. You saw that one coming. Talk about it.
So it's just straight film study. Coach coming into this week talked about how every week he says the same thing: know your opponents better than they know themselves. Going into the film, I told Coach Mack that anytime I see a receiver 2 yards outside the hash, they were running a hitch. So they came out for the play. I saw the receiver go 2 yards outside the hash, and I guessed hitch, and I was right. So it worked out for the best.
How long have you been waiting for that one?
It was all season, plus some change, just waiting for a season to come back. So it's been a long time to come back.
What goes through your mind? You make the pick. What goes through your mind when you see the open field running?
Touchdown. I better not get caught. Just think about all the times my brothers and I just raced or something like that. Just thinking, got to get all the way through the finish line.
Shane and I, it's a huge game for you guys defensively. Princeton came in with really strong offense on paper, 37 points a game. What were you guys doing out there to shut them down?
I mean, it always starts up front for us, so we knew we had a big game all throughout practice. So, I mean, we just watched a lot of film, just kind of figure out their keys with the O-line, especially running backs alignments. And just from the get-go of the game, just fired off being physical with them. Coach Brooks always told us what to do, so, that's how we prepared ourselves.
Derek, I know you knew how important this game was in the context of your season. Where's this win rank among big wins you've had in your career?
It's probably too tough. Probably not a good spot for me to be in, answer that right after a win. Obviously, I'm like, oh, this is so great. No, it was a great team win, There's no real rank in it for me, but obviously everyone knows this was huge. You could just feel the buzz around all the guys coming in just this entire week, really, and, we had so much energy before the game, and so we knew how we were going to perform. We were very confident in ourselves.
You guys started doing this for the last week too, but the offense seems to really be working a little bit more downfield, working some, a little few more stops downfield, some intermediate stuff. How much of a difference does that make in the passing game?
I think it's huge. I think we're very, very balanced right now, and I think it's very hard for teams to defend against that. And so I just think we've been doing a good job, not forcing the ball down the field or anything like that, taking it when those opportunities present themselves. And so I think we've been just good on top of taking care of the ball and stuff like that, taking those shots when we can.
You guys were able to apply a ton of pressure to the quarterback throughout this game, especially you and Marcus getting more than once each. What were you guys taking advantage of out there?
I mean, on film, they showed a lot. It seems like, being physical with them, especially bull rush, worked a lot. So throughout that week, we just focused on that. And then also the way they align with the ball being off, it kind of gives us time to set them up a little bit for moves inside and outside. So we just focused on those keys and just kind of got home a lot today.
Isaiah, talk about how this sets you guys up at this point.
Our season's in our own hands. It's all up to us. Every day we have to come out here and we have to prepare and we have to be together as a team because we know what our goal is. This is just one step towards that goal. It's not the end all be all. It's a good win. We're going to enjoy it for the 24-hour rule, like Coach Mack always says, and we're going to be right back to work.
Isaiah, when the defensive line is getting the pressure they were getting tonight, really is consistent. How much easier is that making for you as a defensive back?
You hear it all the time. Football is the greatest team sport in the entire world. So it always matters that all of us are working and having our best game. So when the D-line is doing what they did today, it makes it really easy. You don't have to worry about a whole lot.
Can you talk about Marcus and Seth and how the entire front performed today?
I mean, it was a great all around. I think as a D-line, especially, we grew up today a lot. We just came in ready, prepared, just focused throughout this entire week. And we just, like I said, watched a lot of film, knew what we were doing, and just really knew that if we went up front, we won the game especially.
Derek, talk a little bit about Paxton again with that run down the sideline. Yeah, actually, from my view, I didn't actually get to really see him that well close to the sideline, so I didn't even know he had to jump in the end zone like that until I watched the replay, and so I just heard that he might have been out of bounds. And so I was watching the scoreboard, and I was like, wow, that guy went and made a play for me, so that was sweet. But yeah, that's just the kind of athlete Paxton is, and he's willing to put it on the line for the team. So it was good to see.
And how about Johnny Barrett coming through?
Yeah, we've been missing Johnny for sure. I was on his touchdown. They showed the look that we were hoping for, and Johnny had a one-on-one matchup, and he really took advantage of it. I've been waiting for Johnny for my own personal selfishness. I've been wanting Johnny back, and for himself too. It was good to see. He's been hurt not being out there, and so it was good for him to get back in action, get in the end zone for us.
What about Dale? What's he brought to the offense last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yes,
Dale's.
sir.
Yeah, Dale's an explosive man. He's a great character. Everyone loves Dale. He brings such a great energy, and he's just so happy all the time. But yeah, he's honestly different during a game. He's so much more serious. Outside of games, he's just Dale. He's just Dale to everyone. But yeah, he's been great. I mean, Dale's a phenomenal athlete, and I think everyone's been able to see that in the 2 games he's been back. And so he's been real excited, and he's looking forward to keep it going.
Obviously, the team around you, a lot of the team around you is a little less experienced, especially compared to you. What are you kind of telling your teammates in the build-up to a game like this?
Nothing different really. I think everyone knew what we needed to do coming into this game. Just making sure everyone was locked in. It was obviously our Columbia game. It was a Friday home game, and so we were just making sure that whatever we had to do differently, we had to do differently. And we had to make sure we were locked in from the get-go, start of the day, and I think we did that obviously. So it was a good thing for the whole team.
Isaiah touched on it, but Derek, maybe you. How important is it to not let down now?
Oh yeah, obviously it's huge. Especially from the loss we had against Cornell last year. Nobody forgot about that, and so I don't see us taking our foot off the gas or anything. We're going to try and finish the season out strong and take a look at these next 2 weeks the same way we looked at this week.
Well, you knew there wouldn't be a letdown. Talk about how confident you were that you guys would come out the way you did.
Yeah, well, they were locked in. It was a must-win situation. Everybody knew it. We talked about it openly and just kind of put it to bed and just, hey, how we prepared during the course of the week. Obviously, tremendous respect for them. They put a lot of points up against a lot of folks. They've been very, very stingy defensively. We witnessed the Harvard game, and we knew we had to play A+ football, and we did. Derek again, 16 of 19, and we just spot on with his throws. We protected the passer. We had plenty of time to get the ball off. The run game, they've been tough against the run, and we mixed it up and hit a couple of big ones. Roper had a couple of very nice runs, and as Bear did as well. Tight ends blocked, which allowed us to do some things. The defensive front, we needed to put pressure on the quarterback, which we did. He kept some plays alive. The deep play we pretty much took away from them. The guys did a real nice job with it. Obviously, the pick 6 is huge. I mean, it's a backbreaker. And Sammy does work very, very hard with those guys, and they're just the big believers in Isaiah. He's that big play guy, and they went after him, and it hurt him. The field goal and PAT situation was solid for us. Protection was. Punt game, we outdistanced their punter. It's the first time we've done that this year. So it was a thorough deal. I thought our coaches really did a nice job by game planning, offense and defense, and we did what we needed to do. Their time of possession was huge, and the number of plays, we had almost half fewer plays than those guys did. But I think we first scored in the first 3 drives, and that kind of set the tone for the game. So very, very happy for our players. The guys were ecstatic in the locker room, and I cautioned them that, hey, enjoy it, as Isaiah said, for a little bit. And right now, Cornell beat us, and everybody in the world telling you that wouldn't happen. Well, it did. Columbia beat us, and it shouldn't have happened, and it did. So, if anything, just learn to respect your opponent and play to the best of your abilities. And that's really what the goal will be. We'll have an off day tomorrow for the guys, off the short week, and then right back at it.
How are your guys going about setting the tones, taking control of the game so early the way they did? How important is that in a big game?
Critical. You come off, and obviously they're the favorite team. Coming in undefeated, and we know that we've got to be physical, and that was the push all week long. Now, it was interesting pushing it but not practicing it. We practiced in uppers a couple of days, and the big thing was recovery, getting our guys. But we have a tough bunch of people, and they knew they had to bring it all, and they did. And it's you wear people down like that. Again, rotating so many people through with the defensive front was big. Linebackers, played a bunch of linebackers. Running backs, kept throwing different running backs at them. But the nice thing offensively, very opportunistic because we just weren't out there much, and when we were, we consumed the clock. So.
That was a tough question before you had a chance to break everything down and go watch the film. But given the magnitude and how important this game was, is this the best performance your team's had this season?
Hard to say. I mean, last week was a big one. The Yale game was a big one. Putting it all together collectively in a critical situation. I mean, the guys they're smart guys, and they know they've got to play hard and A+, and that's exactly what they did. So I give them credit. It's interesting. There's a lot of youth and there's a lot of maturity, but I think collectively a lot of wisdom. It's like, hey, we know what we got to do, and that's that's the next week challenge. Cornell's coming in, and again, we've got to be wise enough to know we're as good as we play, not as good as people say. And it's we just got to line up and get after it.
So it's 17-7 late in the first half. You have a chance to drive down the field, get a touchdown, and get another one coming out in the second half. They stop you, they get a field goal attempt. At that point, what are you thinking, like, we're cruising and now all of a sudden we're not?
Yeah, on the sideline, and I thought we dipped a little bit. Hey, this is, it's easy, and it's not. You got to play every snap. I thought, defense, we flexed. We didn't. I'm not sure who got the blocked field goal, but it was the back of somebody's head. It's a way to use your head. But that was a big deal for us because they put 3 more points on the board, and it's a different feeling. And they went the distance, and they got nothing out of it. And there was a cautionary point at the half, right there. Hey, we can't go soft. And we came out and we did a nice job the second 30.
Even before that, on the drive where you kicked the field goal to go ahead, there was that miscommunication between Derek and Paxton, and Princeton ended up dropping an interception, and you gave this wide open field that day. How much did that kind of change the game?
Yeah, it was good fortune because you're exactly right. The whole tempo of the game changes if that's a pick six the other way, and it would have been. We had nobody to catch the guy. And it was just and again, Derek is just kind of unflappable. Say, hey, no, I got it, not a problem. And 16-19, he was right.
These guys all lit up when I brought up Dan Chesson. What's it been like having him back in full?
Oh, his personality in the locker room. He's just a fun guy. He is, as they all said, just a happy guy, and you see the reaction. Everybody in the team, Chess, Dale, oh man. And to have him, he was so frustrated being out. He wanted to come back so bad. He was out for a long time. And to pick it up, he was out, walking through when he couldn't run, studying tape, and just everybody cheers for a guy like that. And obviously, the big catches that he's had in the past 2 games. He's a big play guy. That whole crew, and Dave Shula does a nice job with them. And they're unselfish. We'll play them all, and they all make plays.
Their freshman back, Walter, came in and looked really good. But what does it do to a team when they lose a kid like Edie the way they did?
Yeah, that was a shame. I mean, that's hard to see for anybody who was on our sideline. The kid's in pain, and then the emotional trauma as well. It kind of makes you sick. I mean, that's the game, and it happens, but it's kind of rips at you. And then certainly that has an impact on the team as well. A guy that you really value, and he's a good guy and a leader and all that, and all of a sudden he's out. But we've been through that as well, and you pick it up, and somebody else steps forward. And the Volker kid did. He played hard.
You mentioned the physicality you played with, but in particular, I mean, you bring up to me an offensive and defensive lines pretty much every week, and the defensive line really took control of this game. I thought from when you were out there. How good was that unit tonight?
Again, it's a collection of people that just play hard. And Shane, obviously, he's been very, very steady for us. But Luca DeLeo really played well. And Bobby Jefferson was in there making plays. Mick Reese is coming off the edge making plays. Marcus White coming off and making plays. Toby Adedara's in there. So just kind of the list goes on and on. Alex Schmidt comes in. And that says a lot about Dwayne Brooks' ability to motivate all those guys, and again, the unselfishness, they just keep coming. That's a hard thing. They're a fast-paced offense, and we keep rolling guys through. They wear down before we do. And at the tail end of the game, I just thought, our guys were fresher. Spencer Brown does a great job in terms of preparing our guys, and I thought we were really smart about what we did and didn't do. It was a different practice week for us, and it showed. And I thought we just wore them out at the end too.
Coach, looking back over the past few seasons, these Dartmouth Princeton matches have always seemed to have just massive standings implications. What's it been like for you, just coaching, continuing to run into those guys top of the league every year?
It's kind of always the same thing. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and we've been fortunate enough to play well against those guys. But it is this juncture in time, and you can't lose many games in this league. And they're always one of the teams, and it comes, we get the Harvard game and then these guys, and that's, to your points, the mental thing. Columbia, you looking past, human nature, and we got to grow past that point. Cornell is the game. That's the most important game of the season. That's a championship game as well, and the guys. And the thing is, I think again, wisdom. They get it. I mentioned it post game. And usually you don't say stuff about next week until next week. Well, it's that important. And they all, coach, gotcha. So, but they're a good opponent, and they challenge you, and you got to rise to play your best football. And fortunately, the last couple of meetings we've been able to do so.
As much as you keep talking about how much games you had, and just getting needing experience in big games like this, how important is it to have a guy like Derek Lee around?
Yeah, it makes such a difference. Again, his demeanor. Now, he's not a talker. But he just kind of gets it, he just has a look. Okay, here we go. I mentioned it last week against Harvard, that final drive. It's got to all be, it wasn't, tensed up or anything else. Good, coach. And that kind of dissipates throughout the team. They just look at him, and they know, hey, we're in good shape, and he delivers. It's a good guy to have.